everybody, welcome back to Demos Gaming, and today we're going to be playing a mod pack of sorts with Adam Rain, which is a gun mod, Payback, which is kind of like a human monster replacement kind of mod, and then we're going to be playing on the map WAD Hell Cartel 2. So I got a comment recently from CritzHater 86 on the channel who just basically said to try this combination of mods. I'm assuming that they have tried it themselves and enjoyed it. And holy crap, really nice job on curating this. This is a really good like combination of mods. I started playing it the other day for like 15 minutes just to try it out. That's usually what I try to do. And I ended up playing it for like an hour. I just kind of got lost in it because of how fun like this particular combination was. So anyway, we're going to get into it. What I'm going to try to do is talk as much as I can about these particular mods, just kind of while, you know, you can see some gameplay from earlier. My main thing is I just want to see like how fun is it? I don't want to go into all the technical aspects of it because that's not really what I do. I just want to talk about how well these all work together, and is it the kind of thing where you can play all the way through and really enjoy it. So anyway, let's hop into it. So let's talk about Adam Rain first. Adam Rain is a weapons mod that's kind of along the lines of like the Black Warfare mod. There's a ton of weapons in there. There's all kinds of like pistols, shotguns, there's explosive weapons, there's a frickin' katana that you can use, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other weapons I didn't even get into. There's also a really loud-ass chainsaw. Adam Rain does have some lore behind it, and that kind of shows up right at the beginning. You can kind of get like a basic synopsis of what's going on, kind of like you have these like warring companies or whatever, but it has nothing to do with anything in the game, and you can really pretty much ignore it if you want. This is a class-based mod, so there's 4 different classes you can pick from. I ended up choosing the Executioner, but if you go to the Adam Rain page, you can actually see like what each class has to offer, and really the main differences are some have more health and more, like, or I should say less health and more speed, or more health and less speed, that kind of thing. So it really just depends on what kind of build you want to play as. Like I said, there are an absolute shitload of weapons. There are all kinds of pistols, shotguns, there are some different types of rifles and some explosive weapons, all kinds of stuff. There are also options I found with the shotgun specifically. There's a pickup that you can find occasionally, and it will actually allow you to, by hitting the alt fire, you can switch the shotgun over to have this like explosive blast, and it's pretty good. You just don't want to be like close up on something when you use it, otherwise you're going to get that splash damage. And then there's also several kinds of power-ups. You get an Atom Sphere, a Neo Sphere, Apocalypse Sphere, Pain Sphere, and Doom Sphere. And basically what they'll do is some of them will give you a lot of extra health. Some of them will actually kind of make the environment explode and like everything around you dies. One will actually like freeze time, like I mentioned earlier, which is kind of that max pain kind of thing. And then the other one's like a quad damage. I didn't get to use it in my playthrough. I did find one, but there was like no enemies to be seen, so I couldn't fucking do anything with it. But all in all, I'd have to say Adam Rain is a really fun gun mod. The only thing that it was kind of missing from time to time is most of the guns, you don't have the ability to aim down the sights on it, so you don't have that like extra like alt fire option of being able to aim down sights. There is a sniper rifle that you can do that with. There is another rifle I know of that actually it's kind of like your plasma weapon. It just uses like a different kind of bullets. It's all bullets. There's no like futuristic kind of like plasma weapons or anything like that. But like I said, there is a rifle that has an alt fire that allows you to fire like a grenade. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of alt fire options, and like I said, a lot of them do not allow you to like aim down sights or, you know, go straight down like a pistol or whatever. So that's the one thing I'd have to say is a bit of a downside for me personally. I know there's some purists out there that they're not into that idea of like having that first-person shooters. They think it's kind of like overplayed or whatever. That's fine. I get that. I just kind of prefer that myself. It adds to the immersion, especially if you're going to do a gun mod like this, where you're going to add in tons of guns, almost too many. I almost feel like there are too many. There were a lot of pistols that I felt were kind of redundant, to be perfectly honest. I found myself like really wanting to use the dual pistols for the most part, because it kind of had that like Rise of the Triad kind of feel. I just liked having the two pistols. That was really cool. Anyway, it's not so much of a downside as like, I don't know, when I'm switching through the weapons, I don't want to have to hit the button a million times to get to one specific weapon that I'm looking for. And like I said, some of the weapons just were a bit redundant. So for up to me, there's a couple of the pistols, maybe one or two of the shotguns that I would just take out and just kind of keep your arsenal a little bit smaller so there's not so much that you're having to cycle through. However, the gun sounds are really good. The gun models look really good. All in all, I'd have to say it's a really, really good gun mod. I would highly advise checking it out. Mace, good job on this one. Keep it up. It's good shit. One thing I wanted to mention about Adam Rain, it doesn't have a mod control section. It's really just like the regular controls. You have like an alt fire, your main fire. There is a kick option that I think shows up on a reload or something like that, but I ended up never using it with this particular mod combination. If you get really close to an enemy, then you're probably already dead. So next we're going to look at the Payback human kind of monster replacement mod. As I'm sure you've been able to tell already by looking at the videos, everything's a human. There's no monsters in this. And this is what kind of gives it that, like, I already mentioned Rise of the Triad, but also, I don't know, it kind of feels like Operation Body Count. There's also a Wolfenstein mod. I just remembered that replaces everything with like Wolfenstein type enemies, and that's what this kind of reminds me of too. But basically, they're all humans. There's no monsters, so this works really well in one of those environments like a map like this, where it looks kind of like a town, it looks like a city, kind of almost like a futuristic city. Actually, Augur Zenith would be a really good map pack to play this with specifically because it has that kind of, you know, futuristic, cyberpunkish type thing. The human enemies themselves are just regular people, and there's like a whole roster of enemies. You can actually look it up and see like what all is in there, but there's all kinds of different like thug type enemies. There are these like drones that I think replace the Lost Souls. There's this one kind of creepy dude that replaces the Archviles. I don't know what the hell their deal is. I don't think I ended up seeing any of the Cyber Demon or Spider Mastermind variants or anything like that in my particular playthrough, but there was a good amount of variety anyway. There was a ton of variety with all the different enemies, and then, you know, in conjunction with Adam Rain, they all will drop like different kinds of weapons, so very quickly you get a pretty big arsenal of different weapons, which, like I said, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You get a lot of weapons, but they all use the same ammo pool for the most part. You have regular bullets, shotguns, and then like different types of rifles, rocket weapons, that kind of thing. There were some dudes that were on like bikes, and I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, very, very interesting enemy replacement mod. And like I said, I think it works well in certain situations. If you're doing like regular Doom-based maps, I don't know how well that would work, because you're really kind of changing the way that everything plays. Now, I think because of Adam Rain, if I remember correctly, everything is a tracer round, so you don't have that issue with hit scans, which would be a huge problem on like big maps with, you know, enemies all over the place. Everything is a tracer, so you can, like, you know, avoid it. You know, in some places it turns into like absolute bullet hell, but you can actually avoid it. You don't have to worry about just like walking into a room and then having like 10 people shoot at you from different places and you're freaking dead instantly. But anyway, I would highly advise checking this out, especially if you're going to use it in conjunction with like Adam Rain and Hell Cartel 2. DDR's really good work here. Good shit. Especially the Archvile variant. It scared the crap out of me one of the occasions when I was actually able to hear it talking, whatever the hell it was saying. So, let's talk about Hell Cartel 2, our map WAD in this particular situation. It's fine. There's a little bit of jank to this particular map WAD, but all in all, I'd have to say, like, with this particular combination, it works well. I think it gets the job done. There are aspects of it that I'm not super crazy about, and especially it's when you get to like level 5. The earlier levels are really great. They're really laid out well. I like how the secrets were, you know what I mean? The secrets really weren't obvious. You had to kind of look around and go back to previous areas to find some of the secrets. So all of that's fine. Some of the texture work early on reminded me, honestly, of just like Doom 1. You know, and it kind of brought me back to like playing Doom for the first time. And I thought that was really cool. But there were some texture options in certain places where I wasn't really too sure about, just up to today's standards. The main area where Hell Cartel 2 loses me is map 5. And as far as I know, there is no way to complete this normally. I'm not sure what the hell happened here, but I spent a good probably 20-30 minutes just like walking around the main open area. It starts out really cool. You're in like a mall. It looks really nice, but then when you get outside and it just completely comes to a screeching halt, all to find out that it appears at some point in time, I don't know what the hell happened. I guess they forgot to put in a teleporter or something like that. You can't get the final key to leave the level, so you end up losing the level. You can't get the yellow key to leave, so I ended up having to use no clip to frickin' find it, because I could not figure it out. And there's a way to get through it normally. Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it, because I could not figure it out. But yeah, as far as I know, and even looking in some of the comments on the Doom World website, a lot of other people had the same problem, and you just have to no clip to get through the level. And then when I got to the final level of this WAD, I was kind of just like over it at that point, and I was ready to just like move on. And you get into an absolute bullet hell situation that I just kind of gave up and said, F this. So anyway, I'd have to say... So anyway, the first part of this WAD is really good, but it's like as you go through, it kind of gets a little janky, and honestly, by the time you get to map 6, that's really more of the Adam Rain Payback mods that kind of make it a little bit harder to get through. You don't have the option to just BFG and just click one button and like half the enemies on the screen are dead. You actually have to like fight through all that shit, and it makes it really difficult, really tricky. But it also gives it that extra little bit of challenge. And I'm always up to a challenge. I will definitely come back and try to finish that entire map pack all the way through, because I do like it. I do think it's good. I just really wish that they would fix map 5 and get that back to normal, because what the fuck, man? What the fuck? But once again, CritzHater86, thank you so much for mentioning this. Once again, really good mod curation here. Good job. It's good shit. I like it a lot. Yeah. And I definitely intend to come back through and actually, like I said, finish this map pack out with these particular mods, because it was just a good combination. And yeah, I kind of feel like I should play through Augur Zenith with this combination too, because I feel like it would be a lot of fucking fun. Please check this out. I'll have all the mods down in the description, so you could download all of them together if you want and try it out for yourself. And then of course I have my ZDL, I'll throw my ZDL like load order up on the screen here. One thing I will mention is there are some options with the Payback mod. You have one that has some flying enemies, and then one that's all ground variants. So I did the flying enemies. You can try either one you want. The other thing that I added in is there was an option to replace the corpses on the ground with the sprites that are in this mod. Instead of, like, sometimes you'll find, like, imps and pinkies and shit like that, like, laying on the ground in this particular map pack. And that kind of takes you out of, like, what's going on. It's like, wait a minute, why are these things here? It just kind of makes it to where it's very immersive, a lot of fun. Please check it out. I'd highly advise it. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like. And if you enjoy this kind of content, then absolutely explode that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And in the meantime, if you find yourself in a situation where you're up against the Hell Cartel, and you gotta pay them back with some Adam Rain, then yeah, just pull out some guns, pull out some machine guns, some double pistols, some shotguns, and blow them the hell up. You know, just blow them all the hell up. It'll be a lot of fun. I can guarantee you will enjoy this if you like that kind of thing. I'm talking about video games, not real people, by the way. Let's be clear here. Talking about the video game. Anyway, see you on the next episode. Peace.